Morning from the garage. My name is Mark, this is Real Build, and this is episode 7. Some of you may remember at the end of June and July I put a video out talking about my 12-week body recomposition plan, and I was going to lose a load of fat, build a bit of muscle, and just generally kind of get in shape before tackling some big goals next year. So this morning I want to talk about how those plans went right out the window because of some pretty severe injuries. But more importantly, I want to talk about how I've kind of adjusted plans, kind of come back from those setbacks, and more importantly how it gave me that kind of time and clarity to focus on what I actually want to achieve next year, but more importantly for myself as part of my kind of individual sort of fitness goals, challenges, and just something that I want to accomplish next year. So what happened? So in a nutshell, I successfully managed to break 3 fingers on this hand. Cracked that one, and that one right at the knuckles, so a proper job of it. And then about 2 weeks after doing that, I managed to do my lower back in, stupidly trying to move 80 paving slabs with one hand because I couldn't pick anything up with this hand. I thought it'd be a good idea and I'd have the ability to do it with one hand. I never, as you'll be able to see from the footage, it pretty much laid me up for about 4 weeks. So the whole getting in the gym, my 12-week plan just completely disappeared. Couldn't really walk for a few days. Mobility was just shot to shit, and because of the fact that I had 3 fingers strapped up, I couldn't even lift weights. So it pretty much put an end to anything from a fitness perspective. And then more importantly, what really happened is it just completely killed like my motivation. I had all these great plans about like getting in shape. I was starting the channel, we were going to document it all, and then to just kind of lose that overnight was just horrendous. I could have been out walking, or there was a few things that I could have done, but being honest, I kind of went the other way with it, and it just kind of spiraled a little bit. So this video is just kind of just addressing the fact that I disappeared for a few months because of injuries. I let it get in the way, I shouldn't have, but we're back, we're training. We've got a treadmill in the garage to kind of get me back into cardio. I've been going to the gym a couple of times a week because I can kind of lift weights now, because I can kind of grip again. Like you say, you'll see from last week's videos, I've been working out with some friends, so things are on the up. And I'm kind of back in action. New plan, new goals. So let's get into it. So to a certain extent, the plan remains the same: lose weight. I'm still carrying way too much body fat. Last reading I did on Monday just gone, which was about the 20-something of September, body fat was around 26.5%, down from 28.5%. So I am making progress, and I'm going to start weekly check-ins next week so we can kind of keep on top of that together. But I reckon I've got probably two stones to lose, because the goal remains still get down to about 15%, 16% body fat, ideally by the end of the year, so that I can kind of start the next year in much better shape. So what happened to the recomp? I'm kind of still doing it, but because I've kind of lost all this kind of time through injury, I do need to focus more on shifting the weight in a minute. I do want to kind of protect what muscle I do have, but I don't think I'm going to be eating and training to a point that's conducive for any kind of muscle growth. So it really is about preservation. So the current plan, as I sort of alluded to then, basically just chop a load of weight down. Target date is Christmas Eve, so I want to kind of get, I think I worked it out, it's about 11 stone 7. So if I can get to about 11.7 by Christmas Eve, which is about pound and a half, about £1.50 a week between now and Christmas, that should get me to a target weight, target body fat level, and in a much happier and healthier place. Next week I'll kind of dive into the whole food, diet, training. This doesn't need to be about this episode. It doesn't need to be in this episode. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm kind of 2 weeks into it, and honestly, let me tell you, I feel 10 times better for getting all the crap out of my diet, getting back to regular exercise. I've got a really good friend of mine, Chris. He's been a PT for over 20 years, and he says all the time, like, there's no better thing, like exercise is the best thing for your mood. And I went training for the first time about 2 weeks ago with Matty. Was this close to kind of go, no, I'm still not feeling right, I'm not going, but he dragged me out, and let me tell you, the mood that I was in after it was unbelievable. So I'm glad I'm back into it. Honestly, it's like, if you're watching this and you've been in the same position, it mightn't be through injury, it could be work, life, stresses, strains, just anything that's kind of getting you down, put you in a bit of a rut. Get out and do a bit of exercise. Trust me, like, honestly, it kind of gave me that boost I needed just to get going again. And can't thank Chris and Matty enough for giving me that push to kind of get back into it. I'm buying a treadmill's out because it's took, like, I'm a big fan of removing friction. I think that's something in Atomic Habits, the book. But now I literally have to get up, come into the garage, and I can get a bit of training in. I am still at the gym, I am still going, but like I say, I'm easing back into it because of injury. And I am starting at a new gym next week, which I'll try and kind of document a little bit better in a video. But anyway, just to recap, current goal, weight loss. Protein is high. Like I say, I want to kind of try and preserve as much mass as possible. And yeah, just calorie deficit. So I'm eating, my maintenance calories calculated at around 2700, 2750 across a few different calculators. So at the minute I'm eating to about 1950. So not quite 1,000 calorie deficit to kind of induce 2 pound a week weight loss, but enough to kind of give me a little bit of wiggle room, because on certain training days I just need to eat that a little bit more, just to kind of replace what I've lost. And what I've noticed is, like, doing an hour incline walk on the treadmill, 350, 400 calories, factor that in with just the fact that I've got a busy day anyway. So I do kind of try and keep the deficit around 750-ish, just for that, like, say, pound and a half sweet spot that I need to get to for Christmas. So one of the best things that's come from being injured for a couple of months was it just gave me a little bit of breathing room to kind of actually really think about what I wanted to do. So I had it in my head that I wanted to do an Ironman, I wanted to do a Spartan Beast, Ultra, and all these kind of, like, just hardcore events. And the kind of reason behind that is because a couple of my friends do it, and do it quite successfully. Like I say, they both did the Spartan a couple of months ago, absolutely smashed it. Chris is doing an Ultra in 3 or 4 weeks. And I just kind of felt like, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Kind of got into the whole running thing at the start of the year. But what I've realised over the last, I don't know, I say 8 or 9 weeks is, actually, that's not what I want to, it's not what I want to do and what I want to achieve. And that's not because, like, Ironman, Spartan Ultras, like, that's like huge fitness, phenomenal achievements, and maybe one day I'll come back around and I'll get into it. But what I want to do, for me, is I want to compete in natural bodybuilding again. So there's a bit of backstory here. So last year, as a challenge for 10 and 40, I picked a goal of competing in a bodybuilding competition, and so I trained for it. Went down, did the event in Kent. Absolutely loved the experience. But the one thing that was, like, really disappointing was how I felt about myself, like, and how I looked. So don't get me wrong, I got in the best possible shape that I could for the time that I had. But what I kind of failed to understand really was how much weight I'd actually have to lose to get stage lean. So I think part of the cut, I think I lost about 38 pounds, so a significant amount of weight in a short period of time. but I just wasn't lean enough. I mean, like I say, I was lean, like beach lean, if you want. You know, you have a shave, put the tan on, you know, look even better, but I just wasn't stage lean, and it's just nagged me for months that. I just kind of want to turn up and give it. I want to be able to see what it is. I want to be able to get the pictures from the event and go, wow, I can't believe I looked like that. So that's the plan. 2026, I'm going to compete again. So I've already been speaking to a couple of promotions, because what I need is someone who's going to put a show on right at the back of the season, late November, early December, so that it gives me from January to say July to put a bit of muscle on, as you know, as best I possibly can, and then just get stage clean. And that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing now, dropping the fat, getting to a reasonable body fat level, so that when I do start kind of bulking, if you will, in the new year, I'm not starting from a doughy base, which is kind of half the problem. Last time I kind of got right into it, and I was already carrying too much fat, so then I had on 6-7 months of bulking, and I just had too much to strip away. So that's the plan. Back end of this year, cut the fat, get in decent shape, get rid of it all, get nice and lean and trim, and then January, completely ruin it. I'm joking. January, start bulking again. I'm going to work with a personal trainer. We'll talk more about that as and when it's appropriate. But yeah, 2026, I will be returning to the stage, and I'm going to turn up as lean as I wanted to in my head in 2024. So subscribe, stick around, because it's going to happen, assuming I don't do something stupid like smash 3 fingers, carry a load of paper slabs with one hand, or anything else that's ridiculous. So I'm going to leave it there. My name is Mark. This is Real Build. If you're still here watching after all this time, I really appreciate it, and I would love it if you could do the usual YouTube stuff, comment, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. Because this is not about my personal journey, which to a certain extent it is. I'm going to document it, we're all going to be here for it. But what I really want to do along the way is prove to people who are watching, who are in a similar position, you know, I'm a busy professional, I've got a family, I've got a really stressful job, and I have to fit in training and being healthy and being present around that. And I want to kind of show that, but I want to show how I deal with it, and I want us to figure out between us how we can all feel better, all be healthier, and live the lives that we want to live. You know, I'm 41 now, and all of a sudden I'm kind of thinking I've got less time to go than time I've had, which horrible, weird thought, but let's not waste it. It's a Real Build. Plan the work the plan, we'll do it.